last but not least, I would like to invite Linda Jackson forward. You'll recall we are on our stewardship drive at the moment, and each week we're having a beloved member of the congregation speak to why they choose SsAM and why this community has been so important to their spiritual life. Having heard this at 8 o'clock, I'm excited for this. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This morning, I would like to talk about influencers, a term used by young folks, but we're using it today. So, the definition of an influencer is one who exerts influence, a person who guides and inspires the action of others. A SsAM influencer / member definition. A member of this faith community who guides and inspires others to live the commandments, love the Lord, and love your neighbor. A few days ago, I was watching a TV movie. At the end of the movie, the main character gave a beautiful speech to his family and friends that included the following words. Thank you for making me a better person. Thank you for giving me strength to face anything the world throws at me. Thank you for giving me unconditional love. And thank you for a place to call home. So I asked myself, if this is my life, who am I thanking? Who influenced my life? Of course, the Lord, my husband, my family. But who else? To use a term frequently used today, who are the influencers that were examples of and taught me to love the Lord and live the commandments? They were and are found in our SsAM community, and I would like to introduce you to a few of them. So, when did the influence start? In my earliest years, my family relocated to Wilmington and moved doors from my first influencer, Mrs. Betty Williams, St. Matthew's organist, and her daughter, Betty, who was my age. They were introduced to and started attending St. Matthew's with Mrs. Williams and her daughter. And soon after, I was enrolled in St. Michael's Day Nursery, then located on French Street, and managed by Lenny Lewis, mother of parishioner Rita Lewis. A little later, I started taking piano lessons from Mrs. Williams and still play occasionally during the 8 a.m. service. Mrs. Williams did not drive, so on Sundays we were picked up and transported to and from church by Helen Marshall, a longtime St. Matthew's parishioner and sister-in-law of the late Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. In fact, she not only transported us to and from church, she would occasionally arrange day trips to New York, where Judge Marshall resided, for us to meet and visit with him. I attended St. Matthew's Church School, led by Constant Gant, and was confirmed by Father Donald Wilson, who inspired me to attend and help integrate Camp Arrowhead. I later attended Byer Junior High School, where the late William Young, a St. Matthew's parishioner and father of Bill and Bob Young, was vice principal. During my teenage years, I participated in YPF, St. Matthew's Young People's Fellowship, led by parishioner Pat Hamby. Later, I was employed at Old Swedes by the Episcopal Diocese of Delaware as a summer camp counselor. Lloyd Casson was the camp director. During my college years and through my 20s, I stepped away to find myself. Sound familiar? and eventually found myself on my way back to St. Matthew's. A few years later, Ron Jackson and I married, and we started attending the St. Matthew's 8 a.m. service. I became a Eucharistic minister and played the piano during the service, while Ron served as an acolyte, learning the ministry from the late Leroy Ames. At this point, I would like to believe that Ron and I became the definition of SsAM influencers, with the ability to live the commandments and introduce others to SsAM in our community. But during these years, I was also employed by Verizon. And my last years before an early retirement, SsAM influencer Joshua Martin was CEO. A few years later, SsAM was formed. In this new community, Ron and I started the SsAM Men's Chorus, which was led by the late Bert Bynum and Larry Unthang. The Men's Chorus sang at SsAM. They sang in different churches, hosted retreats. They even hosted fish fries and provided a support system for each other. Parishioners and influencers Bob Richmond and Tom Roberts encouraged men from both parishes to come together and participate in the ministry. Later, parishioner Dr. Sheila Dorsey, daughter of Dot Dorsey, and I became director of the SsAM Ministry of Youth, also known as SsAM Soul, and I served as youth catechist. Together, we ensured that youth were exposed to SsAM ministries. The acolytes led by Al Brock and Les Roberts Sr., the Altar Guild led by Dot Dorsey, introduced to our liturgy and sacristy by Father Peter Huner, attended presentations by parishioner and historian Dr. Jean Nutter, which included documentaries celebrating, among others, Canon Lloyd Casson, and longtime parishioner and civil rights advocate, late Dr. Eugene McGowan. The SsAM Youth Ministry, also known as SsAM Soul, became SsAM Influencers when, after Katrina, we traveled to New Orleans for a mission trip, participated in the National Cathedral Acolyte Festival, the 30-hour famine weekends, helped with SsAM's annual pancake dinners, and coordinated and hosted the annual SsAM Family Youth Fashion Shows. During these years, Ron and I were introduced to Friendship House and formed a lasting bond with Bill Perkins, friend and former Friendship House director. For 30 years, Ron and I served dinner to the men residing in this shelter located at SsAM, volunteered at Faith Center, a local nonprofit organization serving the community and founded by parishioner Rita Fisher, and supported Lutheran Community Services led by Rob Burney. Along the way, after a conversation with the late Chris White, friend, former SsAM Senior Warden, and Legal Aid Executive Director, for which the gallery next door is named, I returned to work for a second career at Legal Aid, lasting almost 20 years. Last year, SsAM welcomed Father Patrick, who leads and guides our congregation and is already a resounding voice and presence in this community. At his invitation, I am co-leading the lectionary discussion and waiting for the next opportunity to serve. I would be remiss if I did not include SsAM parishioners, influencers, and good friends, Yvonne Gordon, Anita Young, and the Literary Ladies Book Group, including the spirit of Peggy Shane. They talk and walk their faith and remind me to do the same. As far as I can remember, this faith community has been my home and the home to a bountiful community of faithful SsAM influencers. Please do everything you can through offering your time, talent, and treasure to ensure SsAM will continue to influence our church family a wider community. This is a reminder that through our actions, we are all SsAM influencers. It is more important now than ever to actively support our faith community. The legacy of SsAM influencers must continue to live on. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. The word legacy comes to mind. It's such a powerful community, and we bear such a powerful voice for justice and for righteousness in this community, and we care for each other in deeply profound ways. The generations that you just referenced, Linda, this has been going, this is who we are. And so we have 2 more weeks in our pledge campaign.